My fiance cheated on me while I was pregnant, even the day before I went into labor. Now he wants us to be a family, but I don't know how to trust him again after everything. I'm a 21-year-old woman, and my fiance, who's 23, and I have been through some really tough times lately. He cheated on me a couple of times with this girl he's known for years. They were always just friends, and both knew about each other's partners. But recently, that girl broke up with her boyfriend. My fiancé tried to be there for her, to help her get over him, and at first it seemed like that was all there was to it. But it didn't stay that way for long. To make matters worse, all of this unfolded over just a month. Then one day, I found out that this girl had developed feelings for my fiancé. I made it clear to him that I wasn't comfortable with it and asked him to cut off contact with her. He agreed, but a few days later, he found another way to keep texting her without me knowing. Of course, it wasn't long before I discovered they were still in touch. And when I saw their messages, they were talking in a romantic way, saying they loved each other and all sorts of nonsense. It broke my heart. I was getting closer to my due date, and we argued about it a lot. He said he felt like I didn't love or care about him anymore. And to be honest, over the past few months, with my belly growing and the added stress, our baby was going to need surgery right after birth, so I had a lot on my mind. I had become distant. I didn't feel like being held or having sex because I was scared. My hormones were all over the place. But despite all that, I always loved him. I always adored him. He said he felt lonely. I told him that once we knew our baby would be okay, things would get better. I apologized for making him feel that way and sort of forgave him for the messages, still not knowing he'd already slept with her. The next day, I went into labor. We were still at home when the contractions started getting really intense. It was strange because, seeing me in pain, he began to cry like he was guilty of something. I asked him what was wrong, but he just said he was stressed. I went to the hospital and gave birth to our beautiful baby boy. The following day, he came to see me, kissed me, and went to see our son. He kept going back and forth between the hospital and home. And all that time, while I was still in the hospital, he was sleeping with her. Even the day before I went into labor, they had sex. I found out about his cheating on the same day I was discharged from the hospital. He had been acting strangely, having these weird conversations about that girl, almost like he wanted to tell me something. But he didn't tell me. When we got home, all he said was that he was an idiot, that my parents were going to hate him, and that if he confessed, I would break up with him. Right after saying that, he fell asleep. Just to give you a clearer picture of what might be affecting his behavior, he's on antidepressants, SSRIs, also taking benzodiazepines, and on top of all that, he recently started using trenbolone at higher doses. So, while he was knocked out, I went through his phone. That's when I found their messages, talking about how he was planning to end things with me so they could be together. Then, I checked his photos and found pictures and videos of them having sex. That tore my heart out. I felt completely shattered, didn't know what to do. I tried waking him up, but with all the benzos in his system, it was like trying to wake the dead. When he finally did wake up, I confronted him, and he just looked like he didn't care. So I left. He started calling and texting, saying he was sorry, that he wanted to be a family, that he wanted to be there for his son. And, well, I took him back pretty quickly because, honestly, I still love him. But he doesn't feel like the same person to me anymore. He apologized over and over, promising he'd make things right. When I asked him why he did it, he said it was because I wasn't able to give him sex. We never had issues in that area before. Our sex life was great. But once I got pregnant and the due date got closer, I just didn't feel like it anymore. Now he says he's cut off all contact with her. He claims he never really loved her, just needed to get her in bed. I don't know if I can believe that. Considering he was planning on leaving me according to those messages, I still haven't been able to fully forgive him. I'm struggling to figure out how to rebuild that trust. He keeps saying he only loves me, that it was always me, and that he wants to be the best dad he can be. So, what do you think? Was it my fault for not being able to meet his needs while I was pregnant? Could his depression or the trenbolone be affecting him? From what I've read, that stuff can turn you into a different person with an extreme sex drive. I really need advice. I want to move forward and be a happy family with our newborn. I love them both so much, but I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to truly move on. The photos and videos keep haunting me day and night. What should I do?